In this video, we'll be talking about fullerene. Fullerene is composed entirely of a carbon arranged into sphere-like mesh. Spherical fullerenes are very hydrophobic molecules. They have a variety of applications as a result of their unique spherical structure and electron distribution. There are many types of fullerenes. Most famous one, and also the most common one, is C60, which is shown on the left.
At Rice University in Texas, Richard Smalley and Bob Crow created laser vaporization in the 1980s to create atom clusters. Harry Kroto, a friend of Bob, envisioned that this method could also form long carbon chains. But Smalley wasn't interested in carbon chains at all. Eventually, however, he agreed to do the experiments with Kroto. What they found was a novel molecule that hasn't existed on Earth at all. By using mass spectroscopy, they examined the carbon plasma created by laser vaporization. There's an unusual sharp peak for carbon-60 molecule. A strong peak at 720 mu suggested 60 carbon atoms were formed. But how? The group concluded that the structure must be something sphere. Chemists have known about the hexagon for a long time, but it's impossible to shape 10 hexagons to a sphere. Kroto then realized the pentagon are also involved, from inspiration of Fallot's geodesic dome. Few days later, Smalley proposed the structure by building a paper model. Then, it was found that 12 pentagons and 20 hexagons make a perfect sphere. Buckyballs can be used as molecular semiconductors, and their unique electronic properties make them suitable for application in organic photovoltaics, light-emitting diodes. One team from Rice University concluded that the carbon-60 can trap up to 58 hydrogen atoms, and if the total number of hydrogen is less than 30, the hydrogen atom inside the carbon-60 can only exist as hydrogen gas. The internal pressure inside the carbon-60 is proportional to the radius of the buckyball. Interestingly, one researcher pointed out that the surprising mechanical strength of carbon-60 because they can keep so much hydrogen inside themselves that the pressure is comparable with that inside the giant planets. Fullerene can suppress nitric oxide formation and reduce lung inflammation. Carboxy derivative of carbon-60 can scavenge free radicals. Glutathione with carbon-60 can inhibit the growth of cancer cells. Proladium group with carbon-60 can inactivate the tumors. Surface moderated carbon-60 with drugs is promising in drug delivery.
As well, fullerenes have applications as nanocarriers for drugs, which allow for better drug delivery and efficacy. And generally, the purpose of using a nanoparticle for drug delivery is to increase the therapeutic effectiveness of a drug by altering its bioavailability or half-life or its distribution between cells. And fullerenes are useful in this respect due to their low toxicity, the favorable size, and their ability to cross membranes freely, which allow them to deliver drugs that are either bound or associated to them into the cytoplasm of cells, which improves delivery. And although C60 is known to be generally non-toxic and has promising applications in medical treatment, there are currently no FDA-approved uses for the use of C60 in humans as a method of drug delivery. However, some fullerene derivatives have been successfully used in cancer models to effectively deliver many types of drugs, such as small interfering RNA in order to treat prostate cancer. The other well-studied fullerene is the C70 fullerene, which was similarly discovered by researchers at Rice University alongside C60. But it has a little bit of a different structure and application to that of its more famous counterpart. It's composed of 25 hexagons and 12 pentagons, which are arranged in a very similar fashion to C60. And it is produced in industry using the same synthesis process, which involves sending high currents through graphite electrodes in an inner atmosphere, usually noble gas, which produces a soot that contains many different types of fullerenes, which are then separated based on their solubility in organic solvents or through chromatography. And C70 fullerenes are known for their antioxidant properties, which arise as a result of their electron distribution within their structure. And this is useful as antioxidants readily react with reactive oxygen species, which are associated with cell damage from a variety of sources, such as cancer or aging. The antioxidant effects of fullerenes aren't precisely understood, but are thought to be due to their interactions with the inner mitochondrial membrane, which experiences a lot of the oxidative stress from the oxidative phosphorylation pathway. As well, both C70 and C60 are known for their photosensitive properties. They are able to be excited by visible light to a high energy state, which allows them to catalyze reactions with oxygen to create reactive oxygen species in high yields. However, the precise mechanism is again unclear with multiple potential pathways. But photosensitive agents such as fullerenes are important for photodynamic therapy. And photodynamic therapy is a method of cancer treatment where photosensitizers such as fullerenes are introduced into a patient and then selectively activated in tumor cells to cause cell death through the use of light. And the light allows C70 to create oxidative stress within targeted cells, which causes death. And C70 is more suited for this application in comparison to C60 due to its higher absorption intensity in the visible spectrum. And photodynamic therapy in general has grown in recent years, as there have been some advances with light emitting devices. As well, there are general advantages over chemotherapy and radiation, as it has less long-term side effects and is relatively targeted and allows for repeatable treatment. As well, it's less invasive than surgery and generally cost-effective. Again, despite its well-documented lack of toxicity and known efficacy as a photosensitive agent, there have been no clinical trials done with fullerene in this application, so it's not FDA approved for this purpose.
Filarenol is a derivative of fullerene. It can be synthesized from C60. Filarenol is highly water-soluble, different from C60, which is highly hydrophobic. It has properties such as being antioxidant, antibacterial, and antiproliferative agent. How do we synthesize filarenol? First, fullerene is dissolved in an appropriate solvent to form a solution. Then, a source of reactive oxygen species is been added, such as hydrogen peroxide, to the solution. This will react with the fullerene and generate hydroxyl radicals, which will attack the carbon atoms in the fullerene and add hydroxyl groups to the structure. Then, filarenol products has been purified through methods such as dialysis or centrifugation. Lastly, the product is characterized using techniques such as elemental analysis. Filarenols has been a hot research topic for the past few years. Here are a few examples. Filarenols as free radical scavengers, application of filarenols in radiobiology, filarenol in chemotherapy. Of course, there are a lot more possible applications of filarenol. However, there is still insufficient knowledge about the mechanism of action of these molecules and their possible side effects. We discussed C60 and C70, the two most common fullerenes. However, there are a lot more fullerenes out there to be discovered and to be studied.